Hey, I'm Will. This is Cover Minute. We are going to be taking a look at this big guy right here, Voidfall from Mindclash Games, designed by Nigel and David Turczi, and I'm sure a lot of their team had a hand in it too. Well, let's see what's inside. And so this game is another one of Mindclash's very large, very deluxe editions from Kickstarter. I'm not ashamed to say that I do enjoy a lot of their games. Anachrony being very high on my top 10 list, which you'll have to watch to see kind of where exactly it places. And this is a team up with Nigel Buckle, who has made the Imperium Classic and Legends deck builder series along with David Turczi. Which I also very much enjoy. So it's quite excited to see what happens here. It features art and design from Ian O'Toole, who is a really inspired artist and graphic designer, assuming he's just one person because he is very prolific. Not quite as prolific as some artists out there, but he certainly does a lot of stuff, and I really appreciate all of his work. And but this box was on a bit of a bumpy ride to get here. While I think production largely went well, from what I hear from the updates from Mindclash, there was early reports of boxes coming through damaged to the United States, and stories of people having really bashed in corners and ripped edges, and the box is just not packaged properly by the fulfillment company Whalebacker. So it's a little bit of a problem. I don't know who's at fault. I'm assuming it sounds like Whalebacker kind of cheaped out on the shipping and was sending things inappropriately packed. And then there was the issue of there's some miscommunication at some point during the delivery periods, and Whalebacker started sending out Canadian copies, which is where we are here, through the mail from the States, just slapping a label on it and sticking it in the mail. And only a handful of Canadians received theirs. Surprisingly, it took a couple of weeks to send out about 11 copies. That's how fast Whalebacker was. But then the Canadians were being charged absolutely massive duty fees and shipping fees on their end when they arrived it. So Mindclash Games stepped up and decided to pay off any duty fees that people had incurred and put a halt to the shipping, and talked to Whalebacker, and they were assured that the games would be sent to their Canadian distributor. Turns out they were not sent to the Canadian distributor. Whalebacker just, again, put the shipping label on them and then put them on a truck. And then once they finished doing all the shipping labels, then they sent them to Canada, where the distributor just dropped them in Canada Post. And here we are today. So I was very worried that this would be damaged. And, thankfully, as you can see here, there is only one's kind of smashed in corner. It's not too bad. The rest looked pretty good. So I think I really got off easy. I'm very thankful that this came in good shape. And, I do feel bad for the many reports of people who have received their games inappropriately shipped. And to give you an idea of what it was sent in, so it had just this one single thin sheet, very thin sheet of bubble wrap just around it. And then there was a little bit of paper down on one side, and in this kind of standard thin cardboard box. And it was just in there, nothing to keep it from bouncing around. Thankfully, everything stayed in. I have the upgraded metal components and card sleeves all stayed in the box. I heard some reports from people on the Kickstarter page saying that when their game arrived, the tape was not totally sealed and some of their pieces had fallen out, which is just scary to think of. So thankfully it's here, and we are going to open it up and take a look at it inside. Thankfully it got here relatively safely. So this is the Galactic box. I did get the card sleeves add-on, which was very affordable for how much sleeves was included. Nice Paladin sleeves. I mostly got for the larger cards because you will be handling them a lot. They're your main action selection cards. I don't usually sleeve card games unless they're things that really get handled or might show signs of wear. And then, of course, the metal tokens. So we'll take a look at those maybe last. And let's crack this bad boy open here. You can see lovely artwork from Ian O'Toole. And I absolutely love the theme of this game. This is, you know, like humans have been spreading across the galaxy and have been just having a great time, flourishing and spreading and colonizing and settling all these strange worlds full of strange, bizarre plant life and animals, and pretty much being the only people out there until one day, essentially this portal opens up in space, and these like infested ships will start pouring through. And so now, not only are you vying for kind of dominance of the galaxy, but in a friendly, largely political way, you're also trying to effectively fight off the incoming void from destroying the universe. All right, here we go. Let's go on. Okay, something on the inside. Some nice box art around the sides. I think those are different factions. All right, so first, here, let's move this aside a little bit here. All right, so first we have boards. There's going to be a lot of dials and punch work involved in here. It's going to take some assembly, I think, in order to get this game up and going. Not damage anything. So let's see here. We've got some various planet components. I'm not sure what exactly these are from the game. I did play a very early, I guess you call it tabletop simulator version of this when it was backing, and I liked what I saw. Some decent cardboard tiles, pretty standard. Really cool artwork on there. So there is a whole bunch of the tiles. And then we have the various spinners and dials and tokens. There's a huge ton of stuff in there. Oh, things are already falling out. It's punched pretty well. It's a good sign when things are properly die cut so that they come apart easily when you want to punch it. Okay, so here we have, this is the icon guide. Wow, okay, look at this. It's essentially 4 pages of icons. That's it. Icons. That's going to take some while. From what I understand, the game is actually surprisingly easy to learn. The icons make a lot of sense and they build on themselves. Then we have the tray manual. I will be consulting this as I punch things out and how everything gets put away back in the box. That's level 1. Okay. Oh no, here's 2 and 3. Okay, so that's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then there's there's 2 tray manuals, 2 manuals on just how to pack it up. That's insane. Look, there's another manual on just how to get it back in the box. Okay, that is a little bit wild. Oh no. Okay, this is the rule book. Start here. It's fairly substantial. Printing is clear. Lots of graphics and examples, iconography. I expect this will be a bit of a beast to learn. I'm confident that my Clash, their rulebooks I've read so far have been very thorough and have done a very good job at teaching the game. I've learned, the games I have from them, like Perseverance, for example, quite easily, despite the complexity. Okay, the glossary. So this is another big manual, 50-page manual just on the components and what they mean. There's like looks like every tile, every card in the game has detailed descriptions, which is nice. I do really appreciate that there is no vagueness You know, if there's any dispute in the rules, absolutely everything is in there. Okay, well, what's this guy? The compendium. Used together with the rulebook. Okay. So this is a game setup scenarios tutorial in the world of Voidfall. Wait, look at the artwork. You know, they kind of remind me of Fez hats a little bit, but the artwork is absolutely fantastic here. And okay, so there's a game setup. Well, it's kind of nice that the game setup is separate, and there's different scenarios. Oh yeah, all kinds of different scenarios here. There's a good variety. The cooperative mode, I'm excited about the cooperative mode too, and the solo mode, of course. I mean, if you guys want, I'll feature the solo mode on my channel. And we'll try something out. And then we're starting to get into trays here. So this must be for spaceship, maybe? This is Voidfall game trays. And they'll separated stands for the bases. I'm not usually a fan of having to take the bases on and off every time you play, so we'll see how that goes. Looks like there's symbols for resources to go in here. So I'm assuming that's going to have to live next to the board at some point. Okay, and then we have... Oh, there's another one. Okay, there's another one of the same, so at least you can split up resources. And... here, what do we have here? Okay, let's get these tall batch out of the way. There's a whole bunch of these. So I believe these things are for the factions. So each faction has all their kind of special faction components and cards snapped into a little tray, and they're all kept organized like that. I have heard of people labeling these so that the trays are a little easier to see and find, because I guess you have to get certain cards out of different stacks, and it makes the setup really long if you don't do a little bit of kind of pre-work to get things going. Oh, okay, very exciting. This is the first of the trays of miniatures. So this is the Galactic box. It does include miniatures. The base game has, I guess, tiles to represent the ships, which is fine because you're still putting cubes on them. The artwork is still great. And let's get a couple of variety of guys out here. So this is two different ships. So that's, I believe that's a space station there. And then there's some sort of cruiser. There, I can hold up the camera. The camera up a little extra high because it's a big game. So that's neat. Everything is kind of settled in nicely. And then I'm seeing a lot of orange here. And a lot of tray pieces. Okay, so there's a whole bunch more of these like spaceship discs. And more stands, and then some Voidfall components, some Void components. So here we have the barriers. So these go in between different areas. They kind of lock off parts of space to keep you from flying around. So here we have some void markers, I guess. These are, you know, you're getting a little bit too comfortable with the void. You know, you're listening a little too closely to the whispers, and you're being given power in exchange, but it's not looking so good on you. Look on the old complexion. And then these funny little grabby things. All right, so these are for dice. So dice are going to be placed in those as the dice are becoming corrupted. So very interesting. Okay, and it looks like they're supposed to be cards set on top of here. So maybe this tray is being used as a bit of a display board. Or maybe they're just packed in there. I don't know. I haven't gone to the card boxes yet. I'm already running out of space for all these things. Alright, so next is just this tray. Okay, so I guess that's technologies. Go on this tray. Okay, handy. Oh, okay, we have a bunch of little smaller trays. I'm not sure what's in here. This is empty. Looks like large format cards of some sorts. I hope I'm going to be able to remember how to put those back afterwards. Oh, some metal tokens. Okay. So what are those metal tokens for? If these are metal tokens and those are metal tokens, why are they out here? These look like player pieces or something. I'm not really sure. Coins or some sort of switcheroo looking token. Refresh maybe? I don't know. They're slightly oily, but I think just because they have a bit of a wash, you know, a small wipe or something will probably clean those up nicely. And the player color pieces are very nice. Alright, going into the next one. Oh, that was a little bit oily. Got a bit on my pants. Okay, so here we have... Boy, there's a ton of ships in these little areas. I'm assuming this is where they're going to go. So we have the void ships. Not the void ships. The, I guess, cruisers, maybe? They're actually pretty small. I kind of expected them to be a little bigger, but I guess when you have so many on the board, there's only so much you can do. This must be for the wheels. Oh yeah, I can see. Oh, that's handy. So the back of the tray, I don't know if you can see that in the camera here, actually is kind of designed to show what's in those trays. So here's a smaller space stations, I think. Maybe some sort of little ship. Get more of these tokens. There's light ones and dark ones. Again, I think those are for the resource wheels, which are going to take some assembly. Okay, and these guys are some sort of other fighter. Looks like a fighter jet, but they're bigger than the smaller cruisers. Yeah, the details are okay. They're not amazing, but they're not bad. Not bad. Okay, and these guys are a little more exciting. These are the two-tone colored ships. So these are the ones where the void is literally bursting out of the cruisers. And I'll add a regular one here too, so you can kind of see the comparison of the void-possessed ships and the standard ships. Very neat, very neat. Let's pop that in front. Okay, we got here a couple more on the trays. This, I have no idea what these are for. They look acrylic. Yeah, there's a hole, so they're square. If you can see that. Square, and they're quite thick. I'm not really sure what that's for. Interesting. I'm sure we'll find out eventually. And then we have the first set of mini cards. Alright, looks like there's some technologies and stuff. If I can find my knife, I will open these up and see. I'm hoping the card quality is good and that, of course, the box will fit sleeve cards because they did come with sleeves for everything. Yeah, so actually the card, even the small ones, the card quality is very nice. You know, the colors are good. You know, the iconography looks very clear, but complicated, very complicated. We shall figure out what all that is about at some point. Okay, divider. And then, oh, here we have the first. Well, are these player boards? Wow. Okay, this is going to be a table hog. This is bigger than some board game boards. And this is a player board. And it's multi-level. Looks like you can slide in pieces. So probably be able to slide in your faction sheet inside of it. Oh, look, it is multi-layered, triple layered. So there's bottom spaces to tuck cards under and stuff to slot in on top. Very fancy. Yep, those are definitely for players, and they each have their player colors on them, which is nice. Okay, those are excellent quality. I'm excited for that. And then here we have the, I think this is like the event boards, A and B. No, there's not A and B, just different sides. I'm not sure if they're different or not. And, oh, here we have the factions. Oh, wow, look at all these little different factions available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different factions. So each one is this big sheet. There's a whole bunch of story behind them, some strategy, some complexity, different cards and things you start with. Hopefully you don't have to reference that in the middle of the game. Play style, okay, cool. And then these are going to slot in to the big player boards. Oh, look at that. Oh, yes, this fits right in. Nice and easy. It's not tight at all. It's not going to slide out either. And everything is on there. Fantastic. That is just the coolest. We'll take a look at a couple of the random ones. So there's the hats. These guys, I'm assuming everybody's got different unique powers. Well, this guy's got some sort of a sword. Oh, very cool. Alright, can't wait to explore some of those. Another boards. Some notches on the side. Not sure what that's for, but it's cool. Cubes. What's a My Clash game without fancy cubes? Some see-through ones, different colors. I'm assuming the orange is for the void, of course. And then we got dice. A whole bunch of dice. I think they're all the same size. They're not bad. Not bad dice. You know, they're not. You're never rolling them in the game. They're just used as trackers. So they don't need to be big. They're just, you put them in the little orange spiky cups and you turn the numbers around when you need to. Okay, and then we have some sort of this big flat insert thing. So there's a big sheet insert in the bottom there. Not sure what that's for. And then in the way bottom, we have the tiles. Actually, let's look at some of the hand cards first before we get too excited about the tiles. So let's open up some of the cards. So these are the ones where I'm going to use those big sleeves that the game came with, because I think these are the ones. There's a couple sets of cards. Oh yeah, no, yeah, I think so. So actually, these might be for the co-op. So there are these big long cards. Yeah, these have got to be cooperative. So for example, here, these are your action cards. And you see there are 3 different kind of sections to those cards. 1, 2, and 3. And I know you will be like choosing a couple of the sections, and each card will kind of tell you what you want to do, right? So if you want to go on Heroic Conquest, there's Prepare, Strategize, and Annihilate. Heroic Temptation, Exert, Commit, and Exploit. So everything kind of has themes. They try to very closely tie themes to what you're doing. Production, Optimize, Supply, and Thrive. So eventually you don't want to go too AP over considering all the options. You kind of want to look at the overview and say, okay, what do I want to do this round? And think about what the overall, I want to innovate, I want to produce, I want to do conquest, and then see how that's going to work out. And I'm not sure what these are, but they're very neat. And I'm not sure also where the battle stuff is. Maybe I misunderstood, and I'm not 100% sure how battles are resolved. But I know there's some sort of a order tracker. Maybe it was one of these boards. I wasn't sure what it was for. No, probably not. One of these things has got to be for tracking order. Maybe it was on the punch out. for seeing how the combat resolution works, because this apparently is supposed to be pretty easy. You just order the tiles based on the technology of the two players, and then like it tells you your results. So that remains to be seen. Let's take a look at more of these cards, because those were just the cooperative cards, not the faction-specific cards. And I really want to see some like the artwork and just the cool stuff. I have no idea what any of the icons mean right now. Since playing this in Tabletop Simulator, when it was in Kickstarter, the game has changed drastically, and artwork has gone through multiple revisions. So I don't really know. Okay, so there's production, Crusade. Interesting. So there's some player-specific cards here. Yeah, the art is nice, but it's still got a ton of information in the card, nice and clean. Oh, look at that one. Reaching out for the tentacles. Watch out. Alright, and then finally, or I guess not finally, because we've got one more thing, but let's take a look at some of these tiles. So, I know these have been through multiple revisions as well. Alright, so these are double layered? No, triple layered. So they've got insets into both sides of the tiles. I'm going to catch the light on the camera over here so you can see. And there is numerous tiles. Oh, they don't all have insets. Ooh, some of these are a little more crazy and they have stuff on the other side. So overall, they're very detailed tiles with places for you to, put your various tokens on and stuff to show different production factories and space bases and stuff. Some of the artwork in the tiles and stuff are still very cool. They managed to inject quite a bit of art into some, pretty dark but very stark, interesting looking tiles. And they're not so crazy that they're going to distract from the game. There's probably a lot to grasp while just looking around the board state. So I'm glad they're not too busy. Alright, so lastly we have the add-on. This is the metal components. And there already was some metal components in the box, which is very nice. Oh, stickle. Which is very nice, but this is even more metal components. So, let's see here. We've got, I think these are space bases or defense or something. These metal triangle things. Very cool. I hope they're not as hard to get out of their recesses as the Perseverance tokens were. Those ones sit a little bit too perfectly in their holders and were actually difficult to remove. If you didn't have, the right kind of hook on it. Oh, these are nice, double-sided. Cool gears. And then I think the last type here is these triangular ones. There's more triangular ones. Very nice. They're kind of brassy metal, nice enamel colored coating. Very well done. They look very professional. Like you would get on a nice metal pin. And so that is it. There's an absolute ton of stuff here. It's going to take me a long time just to get back in the box and consulting all of the trays, and of course sleeving and assembling all of the dials are going to take quite a long time. So hopefully I will be able to get this table a bunch of times. It's got a solo mode that I hear is quite good. Cooperative modes against the Void, and of course the multiplayer, which I hope to figure out soon. So thanks for again watching. I'm Will. This is Cover Minute. Just take a minute, play some more games, and enjoy the community and the friends and the games you have. But you can also be a little excited for some of the new stuff coming in too. See you next time.